This is the 2026 Acura MDX Advance. And in today's Vehicle Visionary video, I'm going to give you all the details. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're at Acura today in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to come in and buy this MDX or any other vehicle in inventory, check out the link in the description of the video. On all new Acura vehicles, if you tell your salesman that you watched my video on that particular vehicle at the beginning of your deal, you'll get $500 off. It's the Vehicle Visionary discount. Take advantage of it. Might as well save every penny you possibly can. The exterior color on this MDX is called Performance Red. What do you think about that color? That will be paired with a parchment interior. A very nice color combination on this all-wheel drive MDX. And you will not have any trouble seeing when it comes to driving after dark. You'll have the Jewel Eye LED headlights, the LED daytime running lights, and the LED turn signal indicators, in addition to something I know a lot of you will like, LED fog lights. And you can see that you have a very nice design overall here on the front end. A nice balance of gloss black, a little bit of a matte black finish down here with the lower grille, and the chrome will have the diamond pentagon grille, a very classic look with Acura. 20-inch wheels at all four corners. We'll work our way up here to the side view mirrors that also have everything you're looking for. Turn signal indicators built in. They're power adjustable. They're heated. You do have your blind spot monitoring, but that is actually not built into the side view mirrors. It's right here. That's your indicator for blind spot monitoring. Tell me what you think about that. Should that actually be built into the side view mirrors? What is your personal preference? And one last note on your side view mirrors. When you push this button, you'll see that they are also power folding. And they not only fold and unfold when you push that button, they will also fold and unfold when you lock the vehicle. A very nice feature. Here is your remote. We're going to have engine hold right here. That's remote start. Lock, unlock. Here's the button to open and close your power tailgate, and your panic button down there at the bottom. You'll have the roof rails up top. If you want to buy the crossbars, you can do that and help yourself out with cargo capacity. Those aren't there just for looks. We will also find the rear roof spoiler and our rear window wiper. Also find the LED taillights out here to finish things off. And I like the fact that you have the dual exhaust as opposed to singular exhaust, and yes, that is functional. On the mechanical side of things, you will find a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6 that produces 290 horsepower and 267 pounds-feet of torque, mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. How about your MPGs? Well, here's what's possible, but not guaranteed. 19 city, 25 highway, 21 combined, 4.8 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. Now, I say that's potential because there's a lot of variables that go into that depending on where you drive, how you drive, all that kind of stuff. Highway, city driving, it all makes a difference. And your gas tank size is going to be 18.5 gallons. One more note on the gas tank, you can drive about 351 miles in the city and should be able to pull off somewhere in the neighborhood of 462 miles out on the highway on a full tank of gas. You can tow up to 5,000 pounds with your MDX, and your cargo capacity maxes out at 93 cubic feet. You can see how everything looks as far as when you fold all of the seats flat. That middle seat is removable. Only the middle seat in the middle row. What do you think about that? I know some people would like to see all three of those seats to be able to be removed as a potential option, but that's not the case right now. And we'll find a bag hanger right here, whatever else you want to hang off of that will work. A 12-volt power outlet, and this is the walkaway feature. I'm going to push that button, and notice I'm going to stand here for a few seconds. If you need to gather things up, maybe pick up a large box to take inside when you get home from wherever you've been, and you don't have either hand free to close the power lift gate, well, guess what? This is how that's going to work. You can push that button, and when you walk away, well, hence the feature, or the name of the feature, the walkaway feature, it closes by itself. One of the many ways that you can take advantage of that option. If you need some additional storage, you have the storage space underneath the floor, and you can also take the floor right here. Notice that it's double-sided. So if you had something back here, see if I can do this one-handed. If you had something that you were going to haul back here and you didn't want it to get the carpet dirty, that's what this plastic side is for. And if you wonder what that little square is for right there, you take that out and that allows you to gain access to the spare tire, which is located underneath the rear of the MDX. Nice to know that it's here, but that is how you're going to actually lower the spare tire and gain access to it. Let's talk about what your second and third row passengers are going to find. First of all, you're going to find the privacy shades. They can be put into place manually, just like that. One on each door. I don't have the other one up right now, but that is here. We'll also have plenty of room with the armrest, and the door bin offers plenty of space, including a large bottle holder right there. We also have a panoramic sunroof with the power shade that can be drawn forward when so desired. That front portion opens. And as far as your seats go, the middle row seats can be moved up as far as the outboard seats. Now, you can't move the middle row seat back and forth like you can these outboard seats. And we'll also find, let's see if I can do this one-handed. Don't want to mess the shot up too much, but you can also recline these seats. Now, if you want to lower the seat back the way I did earlier, you saw that when I showed you the maximized cargo capacity, just pull up on this lever, that will fall forward. To gain access to the third row, I'm just going to push that button and everything gets up and out of the way. And here is how much space I have. Around town, short little trip, maybe 20 or 30 minutes, I think I could live with this. However, it would be nicer to have more space. So depending on who's sitting in the middle row, this can be done. Like I say, this middle seat does not move back and forth. You'll also find the cup holder here and a USB port. We're going to have the same thing over here on the driver's side as we have here on the passenger side. And here is our view for the panoramic sunroof from the third row. And if the second row passengers hop out, and forget about the third row passengers, no big deal. Just push that button and the seat will get up and out of the way so you can get right out. Let's talk about leg space for your middle row passengers. And there's going to be some variations to that depending on where the front seats are set. Now, if I pull this seat all the way forward, yeah, I'm pretty cramped right here. I don't think I'd like that. A little bit too close for my comfort, but obviously that gives some potential options. We'll find the command center here, including the controls for the third zone of our 3 zones of climate control, dual in the front, single in the rear, fan speed, temperature. You can turn the heated seats off and on right there, depending on what you need to do. There's your air conditioning vents, another 12-volt power outlet, and a couple of USB options finish things off. We'll also find the rear seat pockets. And there are cup holders back here besides what we saw in the door. If we pull on the release right here, we can get that to come down. There are the additional cup holders and some space back here. Now, this could be used as an armrest, although I do find that to be a little bit low for me. You'll find a little bit more space with the armrest here on the front doors and definitely with the door bins. Heated, ventilated, and massaging seats for the driver and the passenger. They're also power adjustable, and you have everything for your lumbar support here. They also have the massage function, something that I think will be very popular with your passenger and driver. And another 12-volt power outlet, a little bit more storage space here in the glove box. One more important point I wanted to show has to do with your gas door. When the vehicle is unlocked, so is your gas door. However, when I use the remote to lock the vehicle, it also locks the gas door. It's a feature that I've had a few people ask me about. There is the answer to your question. And how about the sticker price? $68,850 is what you can expect to pay here at Acura. And we'll hop inside here into the driver's seat, watch and listen. That is how you will be greeted when you hop into the driver's seat. I'll let you see the animated dash area, and you can see what's going on where all of that is concerned. And also a little bit deeper look. We took a quick look earlier at the driver's side door panel and some of the controls for your side view mirrors. You can obviously lock and unlock the doors. You can lock and unlock the windows and control the functionality of your windows, rolling them down and up right there. Here is your seat memory. Here you will find your steering wheel mounted controls, including the button for your heated steering wheel. We do not need that today in Northwest Louisiana. It's getting warm. Not terribly bad just yet, but it is quite warm. You'll have a head-up display right here, depending on what you need to do with that. I don't know how well you can see that, but that is adjustable. We're going to go back and bring up the head-up display itself. Depending on what you need to do or what you need to see, you can fix that right there. You can turn on your turn signal indicators right here. You can set your headlights to auto. You can turn them off or whatever you want to do with turning them on manually. Now, you will have to manually turn on and off your fog lights, depending on what you need to do where that is concerned. And here is the control for your front and rear window wipers right here. This button, this switch, we'll call it, is for your tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel that is power adjustable. You'll also have your shifter paddles for gearing back and forth through the 10-speed automatic transmission. Sunglass holder up top, and I'm going to hit the button right there to bring the power shade forward. You can see that coming forward, and the button right here is for opening and closing the sunroof. I mentioned that earlier. And here's something that, if you haven't looked at the MDX since 2024, might be a big surprise and a pleasant surprise. A touchscreen. That's right, 12.3 inches worth of touchscreen. You can use Google Assistant here. You have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as you can see right there. Alexa, you've got the Play Store. Everything is here. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. And when you go into vehicle settings, let's take a look at something here that you might find interesting. Now, you know that is not performance red. How do we change that? We're going to go to menu, and then we go to body color. Now, this is only going to change the color on the screen. Yes, I've had people actually think I was talking about the actual exterior color of the vehicle. There you go. You can change the on-screen color of the MDX if you want to do that. And you might want to use a color that is something other than what you actually have on the exterior of your MDX. White does show up the best, at least in my personal opinion, but we're going to leave that red, just like that. There's your performance red, and you can see that you have a lot of great features and functionality that you can go through right here. A very simple system to learn and use. I don't think it's complicated at all. Depending on what you need to do, you can go through there and find everything. Remember I said you had 3 zones of climate control, single in the rear, dual in the front. When you're changing the temperature, you can see the indicator lights up right there. I hope that shows up on the screen. We're going to drop that all the way down to low, which is obviously going to be 57 degrees if you're wondering how low that goes. And you can adjust your fan speed here. We have our ventilated seats. We have our heated seats. And then we also have the control for our massage seats. So you have some functionality going on where that is concerned. If you see this dial down here and you're wondering, what is dynamic mode? Well, that's actually your drive mode selector. In fact, there's quite a few different modes that you can use. You're going to have normal, comfort, snow, go down here to sport, but that's not all you have. You can also push the Acura logo right there, and that brings up your individual mode. And here's what happens. We're going to go to customize right here, and you can customize everything from the engine. You have 3 different options there. As you can see, we can do the same thing with the steering. You can also go to our idle stop, so you can turn that off or on. You can enable or disable that depending on what you want to do. How about your gauge look? As far as your gauge cluster goes, here's normal, and then we're going to have comfort. And last but not least, my personal favorite is going to be sport. I hope that shows up well for you on the screen. You can also go in here and change the ambient lighting from normal to comfort and sport. Depending on what you want with that, that's very easy to deal with. Here are your USB ports, hidden away until you want those. There's how you use brake hold mode. If you do want to turn the auto stop start or idle stop on or off, depending on your preference, there's the button for doing that. The push button shifter gets mixed reactions from different people. Some like it and some don't. I typically don't find anybody with a neutral view. What do you think about that? Here's your volume control. Go back and forth through your stations. A little bit of storage space right there, cup holders, and your wireless charging pad. Now we're going to have a couple of different options here as far as storage space goes. We have a little bit right here. We can reach down here and open that up and see our maximized space for the center console. That's what you're going to have. And a couple of additional USB options. And last but not least, before we hit the road for our test drive, a demonstration of the Bang & Olufsen premium sound system with 19 speakers. Here's what it sounds like. I hope that does it justice. It likely doesn't sound as good through my microphone as it does in person, but I can tell you that it sounds fantastic. One more thing. I promise we're going to take a test drive after this, but I showed you what happens when you get into the MDX, and here's what happens when you go to get out and turn everything off. Driving the MDX brings a balance of good handling and good ride quality. A lot of the time you don't have both. You either have one or the other, but in this case you do have both. And the driver's seat and the steering wheel being as adjustable as they are, anybody of any height, well, at least for the most part, unless you're extremely tall or extremely not so tall, will be able to adjust everything to where you can see just fine. And in addition to that, you can also see great out of all of the windows, but you also have your blind spot monitoring that will help you out if you need that. And one thing that I must say, I know I asked the question earlier about blind spot monitoring and what everybody thinks about its location being right here instead of built into the side view mirrors. For me personally, I do prefer that in the side view mirrors, but some people might say differently. They might say, you know what, Tom, I'd rather have it where it's located on the MDX right now. I'm used to it being there, so having it in a different location would take some getting used to. Curious to know about what you think about that. One thing about it is that I know sometimes people tell me they tend to overlook that in the side view mirrors. Right here, maybe it's a little more obvious. You have to tell me what you think if you have a lot of experience. It's hard for me to say for sure about that because I only spend a short amount of time in these vehicles. A long-term drive would obviously tell us a little bit more. And the technology here is easy to learn and use. Everything is easy to get to. Obviously, your touchscreen is a good bit closer than it was with the previous generation of the screen that was not a touchscreen that so many people said they didn't like so much. So this should be a big advantage. Plus, you have Google Assistant here to help you out with so many different things. A lot of different commands you can give, questions you can ask. You can set up Google Maps with voice commands. That's a nice advantage. So you can do that on the go without having to do anything that would distract you from driving. And so you're going to stay nice and safe where that is concerned. A lot of very simple to use but very effective technology here in the MDX. The brake pedal and the gas pedal are very easy to manage, and you will find a nice turning radius. So, as I like to say, a very versatile vehicle. Tell me what you think about the 2026 Acura MDX Advance. I'm always curious to receive your feedback. I can't tell you when we're going to see a full redesign of the MDX, but for those of you that might be holding out for that, it's probably going to be a couple of years from now at the very least. What would you like to see change in the future? I'm always curious to receive your feedback. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Acura for loaning me this MDX for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles that you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.